taxes on the Legion, on the property?
Just the land.
Just the land.
That's it.
Uh-huh.
And it's, that right here, guys, that explains most of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, right now, we've been working on trying to get this here changed. This land exemption provided for section applies only to. Changed it since 1960. That one there, that's where, working on that, trying to get it changed, but I put it on hold until I found out what we're going to do here.
Mm-hmm.
And because the legislation and the time for putting in bills and pretty important to find out what's happening. So
Do you know what the total amount of the acreage is that you're asking to have exempted?
It's right at, it's pretty close to 3. Tim probably knows pretty good. Isn't it, Tim? About
3 acres.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. But that's just 3 acres of dirt and we got it. She told me that first conversation I had with Linda, she said, I don't see any problem with it, tax exempt. And then she called me, I don't know about that later, I did keep listening. And she told me that somebody had complaining in this area that because it was a tax exempt status, they was afraid he was going to put a bar in there and undersell them and they'd lose money.
Oh.
And that's where she got her telling the knot. We've been fussing with it ever since. And then I always figured that a 501c3 was good enough to cover it. But I found out later, much later, that a 501c19 would be a more appropriate way to ask about it. It's this, what is it at? It's an application you got to send in. And they say yay or nay, and that's the one they denied on us with the 501c3,
They denied what to you on
or
it?
tax exempt status.
Oh.
On the land.
On the land.
Yeah.
Yeah. The building, according to her, is tax exempt, but not the property, because it falls under this 501c, this 1960 deal.
Mm-hmm. Tim, do you know the rationale for that exemption? Is it because so many of these legions are doing the bar thing? Is that why they stopped exempting the land in 1960? Or do you have any idea why they changed that?
I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of American legions have a for-profit side of them and stuff, so. And they were competing with the other commercial establishments and stuff. That's what I presumed was the rationale for why I started looking at the tax exempt.
Yes, here's a real property tax exempt application, and from what I understand, this only has to be filed once every 6 years. But once you apply for it, this one was denied, so where we are.
Do they have a reason for denial? Do they list that? Because of the law.
Yeah, they gave them the exempt on the building, or on,
Yeah.
on the building.
Yeah.
But they didn't give them the exempt
Exempt
on
on
the
the-
land because they can't,
Okay.
because of the state statute.
Yeah, that's what it is. Trying to find out what else I got.
And I don't think,
Here it is.
I talked to that Linda Souther there a couple of weeks ago before we were gonna discuss this the last time. And it kinda sounded like to me, and I talked with Jessica too, and she kinda had the same take on it, that maybe that lady wasn't as aware about that law as she should have been when she informed you from the get-go.
Yeah.
Because first thing that Jessica told me was, well, I helped you guys fill all that stuff out. There shouldn't have been a problem, you know, and everything was done to the T. But she said she talked with that lady too, and she didn't say anything about the land not being
Yeah,
exempt until after there was a complaint received.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. If she let me know about the difference between a 19 and a 501c3, maybe that would have taken care of it. But then maybe Tim knows that this does because the 501c19 and the 501c3 It's federal. How does it cross with the county? That's the question I have.
Well, you mean, it would be the state, because
Yeah, it's the state that wrote the statute, not the county.
Okay, so then the state would have
That's
the
a
power.
state law that you're looking at.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's, so if the
and the
state,
state's the one that praises taxes too. The money's just run through us, but the state's the one that assesses your land and decides what the amount's gonna be, and
yeah, there's that lady's name's on it right here somewhere. Who comes up
So,
with
so
the-
they're saying that the building can be tax exempt, but the property is not.
Yeah.
Could not, yeah,
Yeah,
because of the state statute.
Mhm.
yeah.
And that was somebody in Helen that determined that?
Yeah, that Linda Sadler
Linda Sather,
with
and
the
here's
Department of
a-
Revenue.
here's the thing right here.
Yeah. You wanna see, you have a copy of the statute here, Tim? You wanna look at that while you're making your,
And they don't, the Department of Revenue doesn't have where that's written into law, they don't have
They don't have, they can't.
they
change it.
can't say,
No. And there's that letter from, we got a hold, well, because I sent the letter to a lot of people.
I don't know if this is.
And
what
Tim
you're
Fox.
doing it.
Okay.
Because of-
One of his people got a hold of us. And she wrote back, here's what she sent us back on the computer. Yeah. Says your issues are very involved and the board feels that you need professional
this is
help with
Tim.
us with this.
Hey, on
The board cannot
veterans
offer any legal
exemption,
advice due to
clubhouse
the
land
complexity
and
of issues
Did-
and to
so they can
advise that
separate
you
out
retain
the,
an attorney.
like the
Thank you.
buildings and stuff from the land as far as tax purposes?
Well, that's the next door neighbor, my mom's house.
Oh, they've had to own the land?
And it's,
Continuously.
and the thing was.
Okay,
He went ahead and bought it, saying, put it in the thing.
so if they want some kind of relief from that, is there methodology to do that?
No, that's the law right now. So they have to have the law changed. Unless the county itself wants to abate it each year.
But the county would have to do it on an annual action to abate the taxes.
Correct.
Okay, so is in the tax statement, does the land include, is that the assessment for the building, or do you know if the American Legion out there, they're not being currently assessed for the building?
Let me get on their record. Hang on a second.
no, you're doing great. You know more than I do about that. You already asked a question I didn't even think to ask.
Because I don't see any building assessment on here, I just see land. That's what's confusing me, I don't.
Uh-huh.
I got one someplace if I can find
What?
it.
Okay, so for
Building
2016, the exemption was granted on the clubhouse. The
Okay.
land doesn't qualify.
Okay,
We only just acquired it, I think, in 14.
right. Okay. Okay, so is there a procedural step? Does this involve the tax appeal board, or is it just a commissioner action?
For the county to abate it, it would be the commissioners.
Commissioners, okay.
And
But
that to be
it'll
done.
stay on our records as being taxed. The land.
Okay, so,
Each year it'll be taxed, it'll come over from our records like that. And the county will have to do something with it if they want to.
On an annual basis, we'd have to exempt it.
okay.
But they didn't qualify at all in 2015 because they didn't have their building built until August of 2015, and it has to be on the property as of January 1st, so.
Okay,
That's for 2015, because I don't think they've paid those taxes yet.
okay.
I think they're just going on 16.
So they,
Okay, well, that helps us. I'm sitting in there with the commissioner, so I'm sorry I
Yeah.
didn't inform you with that, but anyway, we just wanted to get a little clarification, because I didn't quite understand when I looked up the tax bill and it caught me off guard, but now I understand
right.
it, so.
Yeah, the law was changed, I think in 2012, I think is when it was changed, that for veterans clubhouses, they have to have owned the land since January 1st, 1960.
Right, okay. Okay, well, I think that's all of our questions. If something else comes up, we can give you another call.
You know my number.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
So, how do they do it, Tim, with those liquor licenses? If they did obtain one, they'd have to obtain one that from the already allotted amount for Mineral County. It's not like a Legion can create a new one because it's not.
Well, the Legion could not get an all beverage. We're 6 over quota or whatever it is.
Oh.
There's not gonna be a new all beverage license in the county unless we get 50,000 more people or something.
Well, that's what I mean, is that somebody else would have to
But-
sell there before they could obtain one.
But no, but they could apply for that $250 or $300, whatever it is, beer and wine license, and that, they might be eligible for that.
Oh,
You have to be a little bit careful about that one, because that seems to be less to do with quota and something else that applies to that. But otherwise, if a typical all beverage license for a bar, yeah, they would have to pick up one that was also a floater. But
Mhm.
we have, as far as I understand, the county has sold 3 of the floaters into the wild world out there and stuff. So.
Mr. Carroll said somebody had concern that they might do that, which you guys don't have any intent of ever doing that.
Not right now,
But
no.
even if they did, the chances would be quite low that they could do so unless they did the beer and wine one. And the fact that we have to review this annually, I guess that would always be
Yeah, that looks like
a consideration each time.
So Holly indicated they pay the taxes? She's gonna have them on the tax bill. They're gonna be assessed. So they would have to pay the taxes, and then the county would have to take an action to abate those taxes.
Well, they don't, the commissioners then can decide to abate them, and then they would lower their taxes or take off the taxes. They wouldn't have to pay them first.
But what about
On
the
abatement.
year? I
If they
think-
were protesting, they would have to, but if the commissioners are gonna abate them, then they wouldn't have to pay them first.
Well, how does Department of Revenue know that their taxes are satisfied, that they're fine? They sent the bill,
They wouldn't unless they called and
yeah.
asked me if that.
So, I mean,
would be
we're gonna have to do.
Or go on to our tax.
If the commissioners abate them, county's gonna have to do something to tell DOR that they're taking care of something.
And it sounds like it's not just 1 year, it's 2 years. Did she say something about 15?
No, she said things were not at a point where they could apply for the tax exemption on the building in 15, they could only get it for 16.
Uh-huh.
Because it wasn't, it had to be on the roll January 1st, 2015,
Okay. Yeah.
all set in place and Polly had to see it for them to
Okay.
get a tax adjustment for 15.
Okay.
See, I'm learning something too.
So at this juncture, if we have to do it annually, are we able to, will we be considering 2016 and 2017? Are we going to be deciding on 2 years in one fell meeting here, or do we have to revisit this?
You can only,
Do it 1 year.
do you want, I mean, it would be the only current tax bill. The only, whatever's assessed is all that you can work
Okay.
on. You can't, you know.
Can't go back on
Not-
it.
yeah.
Well, or he can't get forward, he
till
can't.
September when
Yeah.
things are assessed again.
So basically, last year's taxes is what the commissioners can work.
Okay.
And then I got a question, how about 2017?
Well, you'll have to come back in and.
Come back?
We'd have to do it here.
Have to do
So that's what I was doing, I was wondering if we could do both years, but I guess
Oh,
we
okay.
can't. Um, The other thing I had, Mr. Carroll, and we kind of talked about in advance, but the land, even though it seems large on paper, 3 acres, most of it is actually kind of unusable, is it not? Going
Yeah.
down the bank and.
Yeah, we're about 80 feet from the creek.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then it's just a little short sliver through there. And one is, there's the septic, the other is a well in the middle, the building's in the middle. And there's parking, that's all that's there. Nothing is,
And Tim, what, does part of this land cross the road? And that's really not an issue in this, is it?
It doesn't necessarily cross the road. The property of this one abuts the Miller property, and out of the first 30 feet, or the first 30 feet from the common property boundary, that's the road easement.
yeah,
So we don't own the property, we own an easement on top of the property, they own the property, but the county has a road easement on there granted out of that, but it only goes up to, it's from the property boundary out 3 feet, and then the conditions of the subdivision is that there's a setback from that road easement for at least 5 to 8 feet if the county plows road, snow, over onto the Legion property, so be it, that's the way it was set up.
and we take care of that.
Push it in the river.
Yeah, push it in the creek.
I don't know if have you ever seen the MDT put their blade down along there?
They don't have no problem with it at all. You mean like
No, but I mean,
like a berm?
It's a county responsibility, but I don't know if you've ever noticed that MDT, when they come out of the shop, will they?
Well, yeah, when they go down there, they'll come over a little bit extra and take care of that down through there.
But they'll drop a blade and
Yeah.
push snow in there.
Yeah, they.
I mean,
They're pretty
that-
good guys.
That's my understanding about it, is that when they get in a rig and come out of the shop, that if there's a bunch of snow on Mill Creek, they'll push it, not drive over the top of it and pack it down, but let the county guys come in and try to get it off. So.
Yeah. They work pretty much together. They do. And this one here, like, because that's taken care of. They'll have to work on this to try and change this. But I'm not going to give up on it. I don't think, it's just like you can't fight City Hall, but why not try?
Yeah.
Well, any other questions, concerns, or ideas? Questions for Tim or Mr. Carroll, or should we move forward with a decision? Have any other comments or concerns, Mary or Tim? You're the land people here.
I wonder if they should write a formal resolution so that we can hand it off to you all.
Yeah, it has to be something that,
I think-
Official looking.
I think we'd suggest that a resolution be drafted.
Okay.
So that you can.
Well,
Yeah, we have record of it.
They have,
So does
but
the
more
Department of
importantly, the
Revenue, yeah.
Department of
Yeah.
Revenue
Yeah.
says you guys did something.
Right.
Because they're gonna keep sending their
Oh.
assessment, but it's not gonna change anything,
Mhm.
Huh.
but we have to work through the satisfaction. I mean, we don't want them to be,
then I think that should generate a change that they'll send back to me to be able to take the taxes off then.
given it's a good cause, you guys are using a piece of land that's kind of really not usable for much of anything else anyway, and anyone that's concerned about a liquor license, given the fact that this is up for review annually, that could always be discussed in the future if it ever
Comes up,
comes up. I think that,
because as long as I'm commander,
mhm.
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna encourage it, I'll discourage it, because I don't want a bunch of drunks over there giving us a bad reputation.
And I don't even think that would be the consideration from us. It would be that if you were generating revenue and you could pay the taxes. then-
Yeah, it would help.
and I would-
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would-
that's the only reason I'd even consider it, because if we can't get some relief, we gotta do something.
Mhm.
But I'd keep playing on getting a liquor license here anyway.
Yeah. Well, the beer and wine one are easier, but yeah.
Yeah. Then you get liquor thing in there from bar, you gotta pay somebody to run it, and then you got taxes on that, and it snowballs.
And a big liability.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Just to be clear, that this fire and these others, you're not evading those taxes. They're gonna still,
The forest fire and the soil, yeah.
right.
That's a fee, not a tax.
Okay.
And I don't think that they can, I don't think you can evade that.
Not a whole lot. $20 forest fire and $1.93 soil conservation, something like
And we can handle that, I think. I can pick up beer bottles and sell them, and make that much money.
Hey, if you find out where they're taking glass, let us know.
Yeah, okay.
that. Tim, are you interested in helping us make that document look official?
What's it, 10:30?
Nothing really.
Oh, okay, I'll be back.
Thank you, sir. Of course, given we have a motion, that's kind of,
Yeah, we can make a motion to, well, it'd be a resolution to 10/7/2017, so
mhm.
I'll make a motion that we
Abate the,
abate the tax for the American Legion,
For the land,
or the land, yeah.
Yeah.
The signed resolution to 10/2017.
I would second that motion.
all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, congratulations, Mr. Carroll.
Thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,